Hey YouTube, if you're watching this video, I would assume that you probably already looked all over the top side of your engine looking for your transmission fill dipstick or your level indicator dipstick, and you couldn't find it. Well, I'm going to show you where it's at and how easy it is, or how difficult it is, to access and actually service the transmission doing basically a draining fill. This is a sealed transmission, so you can't access the filter in this transmission without disassembling the transmission. But I'm going to show you how to service it. I have the vehicle up on a lift, and looking at the front side of the engine, right by the starter, just to the driver's side of it, you'll see this engine bracket right here. It's a mount. Okay? I put a light in there so you'll be able to see it better, but if you look through that crack, right there, that little yellow knob sticking up, that's your dipstick. Very difficult to get at with this in the way. And there's also a bolt with a 12mm head securing that down. So don't go through here with a pry bar or a screwdriver and try to pop that out of there. The easiest way that I've found to service these transmissions is just to pull this bracket off, this engine mount off it. There's three 15mm bolts. There's one up top right there, there's one here, and there's one here. And then the main bolt that runs through it is an 18mm. I don't know if you can see it, but it's up there, right there. I'm going to take those bolts out and I'm going to show you how easy it is to service this. I've taken out the bolts. It literally took me less than 2 minutes. The three bolts that secure this way, then the one big pinch bolt. Now all you do to get this bracket out, push it up. You might have to push the wires up a little bit. Work it up. Turn it sideways, and it comes right out of there. It's that simple. Literally less than 5 minutes to remove this, and let me show you what it gives us. Clear line of sight right to the dipstick tube. Like I said before, there's a 12mm bolt that secures that down. And so we'll pull that bolt out, and this is how you check it. This is also how you add to it. And I'll show you how to do that here in a second, well, in a minute. What I do is I put a tube in there and I fill it from the top. Okay? But literally 5 minutes, that bracket's out of the way, and the dipstick is completely accessible. I just want to add real quick, it's really easy. You're not going to confuse the bolts because all three of those bolts that went through that bracket are the exact same size, length, thread. Okay, you don't have to worry about mixing them up. And then of course this is the bolt that went through the mount itself. There's no way you're going to mix that up, taking that apart. So don't worry about it. Take our 12mm wrench now that the mount's out of the way. And we'll take this retaining bolt off that holds a dipstick tube in place. That's it right there. Okay, wiggle that dipstick. Pulls right up out of there. Boy, good thing I'm checking this. That fluid is dark. It's that easy, and we'll fill it through the same hole once I've drained it. Okay, if you're wondering which plug or which bolt to pull out to drain the transmission, just have a look at the bottom of the transmission. The lowest point on the whole side of this transmission is this right here. This bolt is how you drain the transmission fluid from the transmission. Don't pull that one out. That's a whole nother fluid right there for your all-wheel drive unit. Leave that one alone. This is the bolt you pull out right here to drain your transmission. So let's go ahead and pull that out of there. It's 24mm. If you don't have a 24mm socket or wrench, you can use a 7/8. That'll also pull it out of there. I'm going to back you up here before the fluid starts rolling. It's a big plug. It's similar to a drain plug for an oil pan in that it's got a washer on it. But it's a big plug, so have your catch pan ready because that fluid comes out real fast. Okay, I got the hose ran right down through the into the hole inside the transmission where the dipstick goes, and then I just took a small funnel and shoved it in the end of the hose, and this is how you fill these up. Important note: don't put regular Dexmerc in there. Put the Dexron 5. It requires 5 in this vehicle. If you put the other transmission fluid in, the transmission will not last very long. But this is it. And then once you get your transmission fluid in, raise the vehicle up and run it through the gears and check it with that little dipstick, just like you would any other GM vehicle that had the dipstick tube up under the hood. It's a little more difficult, obviously, but that's how you do it. So it's not that bad. They make it so that they want you to take it to the dealership to do it, but it can be done. It's not that difficult. When you get all done, your fluid level is acceptable. Put that mount back on if you have to. You might have to rock the engine to get those bolt holes lined up. When you do reinstall this mount, put these 3 bolts in first. The 3 bolts that bolt to the engine and transmission first, and then line up the center bolt afterwards. Hopefully this helps somebody learn how to do their transmission service on their vehicle. If it did and you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. Have a good day.